Welcome everybody. Today we are taking a look back at our big summer tour to Italy. We'll look back at some of our favourite moments and go through the costs, and we've also received a few questions from some of you on social media, so we'll be answering those for you too. So our summer adventure began with one goal: to explore Italy. We dreamed of the lakes and the mountains and culture, but travel rarely goes exactly as planned. Heavy rain followed us across northern Italy, and eventually we made the decision to head west and we chased the sun into Spain. Still, Italy gave us unforgettable moments: Lake Garda's shimmering waters, the Latimar peaks in the Dolomites and Lake Sorezza, a jewel of turquoise that became one of the highlights of our trip. Even in the rain, Italy was magical. Spain, however, welcomed us with sunshine, and both made our journey one we'll never forget. So first, let's have a look at the cost of the whole trip. The accommodation was our largest expense, totalling £1,868.54. Campsites, airs and cheeky little one-night stops became our home, whether nestled in a quaint French village or up in the Dolomites or spread across Spain's Catalonian coast. In France and Switzerland, we found a number of free stops that felt like little gifts along the way, and these allowed us to save money early on, which meant we could splash out a bit more into the journey. In Italy, we often found ourselves in the rain and the thunderstorms, but the scenery really made up for it. We woke up to misty mountains and the quiet lakes, and it really was unforgettable. Spain, however, offered sunnier, more relaxed stays. The campsites there were a bit more expensive, but they had everything on them, all the pools and bars and everything else, and the evenings we spent relaxing and cooking outdoors. Whilst on our holiday, we did an awful lot of shopping, and we invested in a lot of new gear too, spending just £1,037.05, and most of that was at Decathlon. This equipment carried us through both rain and sunshine too. Some purchases were essential and others a bit less so, but together they gave us the flexibility to adapt to changing environments. Towards the end of the trip back in France, our new electric scooters were a really welcome addition to our kit for getting out and about. Definitely not an essential purchase, but we absolutely love our new electric scooters, and we'll be able to use them when we go back into Europe next year, providing the countries haven't banned them all. Covering thousands of miles across Europe meant that transport costs were quite a lot. They added up to £1,250.37. France and Italy's toll roads were quite expensive, but they did save us a lot of time. Italy's mountain roads tested both the van and our nerves, while Spain's highways felt a lot smoother, so that was good. We also used public transport like the La Scala Express, the Ting Ting train in Calamongo, to get around and visit local towns. Now, transport costs might not be very glamorous, but they are the backbone of doing a trip like this. Groceries totalled £804.31, and they became a daily ritual. In Italy, we sampled fresh bread, cheeses and local produce. Spain brought sunshine and chorizo to our meals, with outdoor cooking and long evenings around the table. Food wasn't just fuel for us, it was a way to connect with each country and each other, and cooking together became one of the most memorable parts of the trip. We spent a total of £380.08 on eating out, whether enjoying a quick gelato treat or a full 3-course belly-busting meal. Each meal out was a chance to pause, soak in the atmosphere and taste the culture. In total, our whole summer adventure cost £5,340.35. That's about £1,068 per week for 6 people. Considering the scale of the journey, the variety of the experiences that we had and the memories created, it was a cost we'd gladly pay again. Italy gave us beauty in the rain, Spain gave us sunshine and fun, and together it all created a journey that we'll never forget. So interestingly, this total is comparable to what many families might spend on a traditional summer holiday flying abroad on an aeroplane holiday. But instead of being confined to one destination, we experienced the freedom of the open road, diverse cultures and spontaneous adventures that only a road trip can really offer. It's a reminder that memorable travel doesn't have to come with a hefty price tag, although £5,000 does seem quite hefty, but £1,000 a week for 6 does not. Now, many of you asked us some questions on social media, so I'll just take a moment to answer some of those for you. So the first question we received was, how do you cope with shopping as a big family that needs lots of food? Do you get it on the way to sites, etc.? Yes, we do a lot. We do a lot of shopping on the way to a site. So some days we are changing every single day where we're staying. So that's quite a bit easy just to stop off at a supermarket on our way. Now, we tend to buy a few days worth anyway, because the van, I mean, we're in a different motorhome now. You've probably noticed I'm in a different motorhome to our usual, and that's because we've bought a new one, and we'll do a tour on this very, very shortly. But yeah, the fridge wasn't a bad size, and we also put an extra fridge into the garage as well so that we could carry extra. So we can actually carry quite a bit of food for a few days. Now there is 6 of us, so we do go through a lot of food, but the amount of cupboard space in that roller team is unreal. If anyone was looking for a motorhome with a lot of cupboard space, the roller team 747, auto roller 747, is absolutely fantastic. You can really pack it out. We also had an extra large sort of toy box type plastic big box in the garage as well, which was full of like tinned food, pasta, lots and lots of dry food that we could easily make meals out of. So we weren't too bad really. We tend to do a shop before we leave the UK just to get a few Aldi bits that we know that we can't get over in Europe, things that the kids really like. You've just got to try and avoid dairy and meat for the crossing because I think it's illegal to take them in. No comment on that, no judgment on that either. That is just what the law is. But I think people do get away with taking a few cheeky bits through, but if you got caught they will take it off you, so that's something to note. As for such a big family, do you mean taking them into the supermarket? Yeah, it's an absolute nightmare. It's not fun taking all of the kids around the supermarket with us, but we do it because it's part of culture, it's part of seeing what the supermarkets are like in other countries as well. It's actually quite interesting to see all the different products, and the kids can try new stuff and they can pick things out for themselves and be part of the shopping experience. Sometimes though, Kevin will sit in the motorhome in the car park at a Lidl and I will run in and get everything that we need. Sometimes it is just like that. Okay, so do you prefer the ferry or the tunnel? As I think you have generally used the ferry. Yes, we mainly use the ferry, and mostly that is down to cost because we have done the tunnel before and we found it quite comfortable. It was actually back when we had a caravan, so we were stuck in the car while we were on the tunnel. I don't think we went in the caravan at all, but I think in a motorhome it'd be even easier. Obviously you can't use any gas, that has to be switched off to travel on the tunnel, so you can't go pop in there and make yourself a cup of tea. You have to make it in advance and then have it in a flask. That's a good idea. But yeah, we like the ferry, we like to get food on the ferry quite often. So how do you cope with the driving as you put in some big shifts to get to Italy or Spain? Yes, we do put some big shifts in, and what we tend to do if we've got a really big driving day coming up, then for a few days we just have small driving days, or we might stop somewhere for a couple of nights if we're really trying to get somewhere. So for this year, the first booking that we'd made in Italy was 6 nights into the holiday, so we had sort of 6 whole days to get to Italy from East Yorkshire, and some of the days were a bit bigger than others. Some days we only travelled 3 hours, some was more like a 6-hour drive, but we just did what felt right for each evening, took detours where we felt that we could, did activities where we felt that we could, go into the animal park in Switzerland. That was fantastic. It took an extra 3 or 4 hours out of our day that we could have used on travelling, but actually we had a fantastic day going and seeing all the different animals. There was red deers, wolves, owls, mountain goats and all sorts of different native species to Switzerland. Then we went round a gorge and through a hydroelectric plant and went to see how they turn all of the water going through the gorge into electricity. That was really educational as well. George really liked that. So taking a few hours out to do something quite nice, stretch the kids' legs, do something maybe a bit educational or fun, and then get on the road for a couple of hours. It was really worth it on that occasion. When we'd got into Italy, we had a couple of nights before the first booking where we went to Lake Garda and Lake Cerezza and the Dolomites, and that was also a bit of a detour, and then obviously we were then headed off to Spain. And when we got to Spain, we sat in one place for an entire 2 weeks. We booked a week and then we managed to book another week on the day we were meant to be leaving. We went into the office and sort of said, yeah, we're not ready to leave yet, can we have another week? And we sat there and did nothing, absolutely nothing. So I think after those really big days, so driving Italy to Spain actually took us something like 18 hours, and we did all of that in just 2 days. So we did like 2 9-hour drives basically. It was very difficult, but the kids were quite happy. We just made sure we stopped, got them sort of legs moving. They had their iPads and stuff as well, which I know you don't want to rely on too much, but on those long driving days I think just to get them out of the way, give them an iPad. let them sit there, because you know that when you get to your stop and you can get the paddle boards out and you can get the snorkels out and you can get on the beach and build sandcastles and do all of those lovely things, you know that it, you know, one day sitting on an iPad isn't going to ruin them just for this once. But you know, we do have a few days like that during each trip, just so that we can get to places that we need to get to. We definitely added pressure on ourselves in moving from Italy to Spain, but I think the holiday was better for it, definitely. When it comes to camper size, is bigger always better, or do you start to find limitations on where you can go? So there are limitations with a taller camper, with a longer camper motorhome. Obviously, car parking spaces, some car parks are very strict, you've got to be within the lines. Some not so strict, you can take up a couple of spaces. So it's just looking out for those signs. You've got barriers overhead. Some places will come and open the barrier for you. There's a number, like at Bridlington Park and Ride, you can ring the number, you can get parked up. They've got dedicated spaces for motorhomes. The man comes on the golf buggy and opens it for you, and you get let in, and you pay £5 or something for the whole day, and you get the little land train into Bridlington seafront and back, all included in that price. Okay, that was a very specific example. But if you're wanting to be in multi-storey car parks, things like that, you're not going to get a motorhome in those. You need to go with something shorter, maybe like a VW camper or something like that. I think if you're willing to work around the limitations, I think you need to set your mind to, yes, I've got a bigger vehicle. These are the things I'm not going to be able to do, but these are the things it's going to allow me to do. You're not going to get a toilet and shower in your VW camper. You might be able to get portable ones that you can use, but you're going to have to find somewhere to do all of that. You're going to struggle with that in the middle of the woods. I know there's people that do it, by the way, but it's not the easiest setup. If you've got a motorhome that you've managed to find a nice little park up, you've got your inverter, you've got your solar on the roof, nice big battery, you've filled your refillable gas system up and you're all ready to go, it doesn't really matter where you are. You've got everything inside your vehicle and you're set. You know, you could last a week or whatever without having to go and do anything. You're not going to get that from a VW camper, so there's limitations to both. The cost can be a lot more going on a ferry. You're higher, you're longer, so you're going to pay more for your tickets, and it's as simple as that. So if you just accept that that's how it is, I know who's asked this question, it's my brother-in-law, because he's looking at things at the moment. But if you are if you're accepting of the fact that you're going to pay more for ferries, if you're going on ferries, you will not be able to get under barriers, and if you're in specific car parks where they are very strict on you going over the lines, you're not going to be able to do that. But I can park at Asda, I can go to Lidl, I could basically do all my food shopping absolutely fine in the motorhome, and I use it regularly. I take it on the school run. That's how easy it is to drive a motorhome around. I use it to take the kids to school sometimes. I don't think the limitations of having a motorhome outweigh the limitations of having something smaller that doesn't have the space. If you've got a family, you're going to need more beds. I think it swings and roundabouts, and it's what suits you and what you're willing to accept either way. I would not be willing to accept a camper that I can't have a shower in, because we do an awful lot of camping that isn't on pitches. You know, we are just at a park up, we are on the side of the road, and I want to wash my hair in the morning, I want to be able to brush my teeth properly, I want to be able to do all of those things. I want to be able to put the heating on if I want it on the gas. I know you can have diesel heaters and things in campers, so I think it swings and roundabouts. It really is what suits you and your family. For us, a big motorhome is the perfect thing. Right then, well that's it. That is the end of today's video. We've gone through all of the costings, we've gone through favourite bits and all of your questions as well. And in the next one, we're going to start on the new motorhome, picking it up in Edinburgh, well Perth, but we had to travel up to Edinburgh. All of the things that went along with that. I mentioned before there was some drama going on, but yeah, a bit of a disaster with the new motorhome within a few days of owning it, which was very frustrating, but that's all sorted now. But we'll talk you through all of that in the next one. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you next time.